Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the concept of a new normal, and I kind of hate that phrase, but everybody seems to be using it, regarding vaccination versus insurance in Thailand. So what are we talking about here? Well, recently there's been discussion of they're talking about possible COVID-19 insurance being mandatory. And I've had a lot of people contacting me about this, wanting to know how this is going to work, etc. Now, at the same time, I have a lot of people contacting me about the concept that vaccines may ultimately become mandatory for Thai visa extension. And I had someone actually send me an email today, as of the time of this video, and say, do I think that there may end up being a situation where it becomes sort of a one or the other proposition? Those who wish to stay in Thailand in visa extension status can either opt to get a vaccine, presuming vaccines are readily available, which as of the time of this video, that I wouldn't say that readily available would be the phraseology I would use. But assuming that vaccines are readily available, do I think it's going to be likely that it may become a choice between COVID-19 insurance as a requirement for visa extension or proof of vaccination? It's a good question, and that may ultimately be where this goes. That said, I mean, I don't really see, as the diseases tend to burn themselves through a population, and I'm no epidemiologist or virologist or medical doctor, but it's my understanding, diseases come and go, and COVID presumably shouldn't be with us forever. But at least into the foreseeable future, could it be likely that it becomes this choice? Yeah, maybe. I definitely think, again, it's a good question, that we end up with a situation where it becomes a requirement that you either show A, COVID-19 insurance, or B, you show that you've been vaccinated against it. The other thing to bear in mind is, for example, medical certification associated with work permits, they've still got elephantitis on that list. So if this did become a rule, it might end up being a rule for a really long time, because that elephantitis has been on there since apparently elephantitis was kind of an issue. So again, for that matter, syphilis is also noted on there, and I'm sure that goes sort of harkens back to a time when syphilis was a major public health issue. Do I foresee that being the case necessarily, where forever and always from now on you've either got to be vaccinated for COVID-19 or show that you've paid for COVID insurance in order to, for example, extend a visa or something like that? It's definitely possible. I would say we're probably not going to see anything like that in the foreseeable 90 to 120 days, because it takes it takes a fair amount of time to get rules sort of in place and laws on the books. But it is possible. Do I think it's likely? I wouldn't bet on it, but it is possible.